I'm Ben Averis, consultant botanist living in East Lothian in Scotland, and this course at Kindrogan Field Centre is looking at NVC Woodlands, looking at a range of different woodland communities. It so happens that Kindrogan is actually a jolly good place to do this course because you've got a good range of different woodland vegetation types, which equates with different woodland NVC communities in the area. We've got enough of a range just within a easy drive of Kindrogan to be able to cover what is really the main core of variation in woodland vegetation that we need to know about if we're going to look at NVC woodlands on a national basis. So on the first day, we've been to a place just near Pitlochry where we explore firstly some woodland just near to a car park, very, very accessible. And the reason for choosing this is that it actually includes the three main community types which are really the core of understanding woodland NVC. We have two big, very, very broad divisions. One is between wet woodlands and the other one is between dry woodlands. And first and foremost, we want to get our heads around understanding the dry woodlands because those are the ones that are most extensive. And we have three main divisions within the dry woodlands. They reflect the nature of the soils. One is very acid, one's more neutral, and one is more basic. And a good thing about this part of the world is that we can go down the road from Kindrogan to some sites near Pitlochry and near Aberfeldy, and at each of those sites we have each of those three dry woodland types: the acid, the neutral, and the basic. And we can see them repeatedly going from one to another, and then back to the first and the second, and so on. And it's really very good for people to learn the characteristics of the ground flora and the tree canopies of each of those three groups. We also see wet woodlands, which are in a way slightly simpler to classify, and we see the two main types. One is an acid one and one's a more neutral one: acid soils, neutral soils. And then on the second day we go out to another site and we see some of the same communities again, but in a different place. They always look a little bit different, and it's good exercise to see them at a second site. And then we come back second evening, we have another indoor session going through the books again, and always asking any questions. If anybody, there are always people who have interesting questions to ask. People come on these courses from different angles. They've all got different reasons to come here, which is what makes it very interesting. And they come from quite a range of places too, all over the country. We've had people from the south of England, people from all around Scotland. Understandably, we do get quite a lot of professional people working professionally in ecological circles coming here. For example, staff of organisations such as Forestry Commission, Scottish Natural Heritage, Scottish Wildlife Trust. That's one group. Consultancies is another one. Quite a lot of people coming on these courses working as ecologists for consultancies around the country. Then, quite rather differently, we have people who are not necessarily working in this field, and they just come because they're interested in finding out about woodland vegetation, which is jolly good. And actually, with that in mind, I might say that these courses that we have here don't assume that everybody who's coming to look at woodland vegetation is all totally clued up on their plant species identification. Sometimes people get in touch and they say, will it matter if I'm quite a beginner on the identification of species? And I always say no, because it's if anything, it should be quite an encouraging thing. We should encourage anybody really to get in looking at nature, regardless of their previous experience. And for looking at plant communities, that can probably help when people are also learning their plant species, because there's a little bit more of a story behind every plant species that they learn. A little bit of something about its kind of habitat, why it grows where it does, what species grow with it, and that may help them to learn that species a little bit better.